on the phone with Joe. He's another musician that reached out about the current interview session. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
What's up, guys? This is Joe from Mixtape Romance.
All right. Very short and sweet. I like it. All right. So tell me about who you are and kind of how you got involved in music. What about it was appealing to you and made you want to start participating in it?
Okay, so I've loved music my whole life, but I never really got into music until probably around 17 or 18 years old. It was whenever I finally picked up a guitar. My mother passed away whenever I was 17, and that was kind of a traumatic thing. I had to grow up really fast, and music kind of became a way to, escape and like a way for me to kind of deal with my feelings about all that.
Okay. And once you kind of identified that about yourself, what were your next steps there? Did you start learning an instrument or did you write poetry? How did that become like a musical hobby?
So I've always done a little bit of writing. I wasn't like a real great writer, but I've always loved poetry. My dad played guitar. So I knew that I was probably going to be able to play guitar. I just started, I picked up guitar and I took a couple of lessons, but it mostly self-taught. And I really just wanted to learn enough guitar so I could start writing songs.
Okay, sure. So once you kind of figured out enough guitar to start writing songs, did you already have kind of the poems written, the words that you wanted, or at that point was that kind of the next step to create?
So I've had songs come to me in many different ways. A lot of them start out as poems or some kind of sometimes I get melodies, but it's been a bunch of different ways. Sometimes I start out with a riff and then I work around that. I really was drawn to songwriting, and then singing kind of, I've worked a long time. I mean, it's probably been about 12 years now. And I've worked a long time to start getting really good at singing. I haven't really done any lessons. I probably should have, but I'm a lot better now.
Okay. And then while you were learning guitar, was that you kind of playing along to, your favorite records kind of thing, or did you take private lessons? What was your approach to learning?
Yes. I did a couple private lessons, but I mean, basically I was going in there and trying to learn, all those songs that we either grew up loving or even new ones that came out that we loved. And so once YouTube kind of became so big and everybody was putting a tutorial out every week, I mean, you could basically learn any song that you wanted to learn as long as you took the time and effort. And so that's what I started to do.
Okay. And then did you pick like random songs, or did they all kind of fit into the vibe that you were looking to create?
They were all my genre. So, I mean, I kind of went more towards the metal, or the post-hardcore was really kind of popular in the early 2000s. So that was the kind of stuff I liked. But I also fell in love with acoustic kind of love songs. So that was really where my focus kind of ended up going towards.
Okay. So taking that to the next steps, at this point, you've learned guitar well enough to kind of start writing songs with it. You have ideas for lyrics and stuff that you want to accompany that. Did you start recording, or did you start kind of just looking for other musicians to play with?
Yes, that's where the story goes. Yeah, so that's where the story goes. So then you get to the next step. Once you've learned how to play, once you've learned how to write some songs and you get comfortable enough, then you want to start recording them. So my wife's father-in-law, he was in bands through the 80s and through all the hair band stuff. And so he already was a musician and was really familiar with recording. He had a home recording studio. And so that's where we originally started making some music. At first it was just like one song that I had that I wanted to record.
Okay. And then
that's how we got started.
And from that one song, I assume it progressed from there into several more.
Yeah, it progressed into an idea for an album. So I had that idea for an album a long time ago. It was called The Story of Us, and it's basically a love story but it goes through a bunch of ups and downs. But the album, it ended up taking quite a long time to end up doing, because you know how life happens and stuff has to get put on hold. Well, we had basically the whole album done, other than I had to finish the vocals, and then it sat for about 5 years until finally, about a year ago, I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I mean, nobody else is going to put these songs out except for me, because these are my songs and this is what I'm supposed to do. And so it was kind of like just a wake up call about my purpose in music. I mean, I was given the ability to make these songs. I need to put them out there, because not only are they good songs and I like them, but I feel like they could really help people. I mean, they really helped me through some hard times, and I really feel like that there's a positive message behind it, and it can help a lot of people.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm angling this whole thing towards, is that purpose of music. For you, what is that? You mentioned that you want to create music to help people. And then you mentioned some hardship in your life that has kind of informed where that is. But give me a bit more of context and information that is in the album.
So, music, music has always been something that's helped me. Music has always been something that's helped me through my hard times. When things were going bad, you would put on your favorite record and you would listen to that. And that's really kind of where it all came from for me. Was, it started out me making music for myself to help me make it through whatever I was going through. And also I wrote music, I wrote love songs for my wife and stuff. But looking back, it's all been a big story that needs to be told. So really the purpose behind it is to help anybody who's gone through, I was in a broken home, and I've come through that. And, sometimes it's really hard to get out once you've been taught, for so long, like this specific way that you've been treated and stuff. So to kind of break out from that, that's kind of where my message is that if you're in a rough situation, you don't have to stay in that situation. You don't have to keep doing what you've been doing. You can, so I want to help people get out of whatever troubles they're in.
Okay, perfect. So let's take that, to the next logical step. Do you have the entire album together, and is it released? Are you out playing shows? Okay, perfect. So give me some detail about what's going on now.
So what's going on right now is, I released the album, I think it was in February or March of this year. So I released the album this year, and I really started, pushing. I knew that we wanted to do a show. We haven't done a lot of shows. We did one show in October, and we had a lot of our friends end up showing up to that. And one of the best things so far that's come out of Mixtape Romance is I feel like it really does connect with it. It has a hint of nostalgia from the early 2000s rock, but then at the same time, it's connecting with the teenagers for sure, because my daughter is even involved in the band with me too. My 16-year-old daughter. So she's my backup singer, and she that's been kind of the most powerful thing about it is, having my kids and my wife support me through all this and like kind of buy into the music, and like they really love it. And that's been kind of what's pushed me to want to keep pursuing it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. So where do you kind of see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Just keep going, or do you have specific goals in mind?
5 to 10 years. I mean, I think I'll definitely be doing some kind of touring, even if it might even be local, but I think eventually this is going to take off to the point where we're touring and doing shows that are really kind of centered on helping to build up families and help be there for kids who, might be struggling in their lives due to maybe divorce or due to problems in the home or anything like that. I really feel like it's being pushed to something that works hand in hand with some kind of a charity that helps broken families. So that's definitely where it's going.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like it. So tell me a little bit about what has happened to you. Give me some memories that have helped inform and direct the way that you kind of approach music.
Okay, so something specifically has definitely been getting out there and kind of like showing my music, like going. I went around to all the local open mics and shared my music, and that was really helpful. And it was eye opening because I've kind of struggled for a lot of years on, whether or not I should even do it. Like I've had these songs sitting for such a long time, and sometimes you kind of get in your own head, like, there's so many people that are better than me, and should I even do this? And to be honest, I ended up coming to the conclusion that it would be selfish for me to not do it just because I may not be the best in the world, because that's not always what somebody needs. Sometimes people just they need to hear the right thing at the right time. And so that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be there for people and kind of be a voice of hope and hopefully be there for somebody at the right time, just like how music has been there for me at the right time.
Awesome. That's cool. All right. So where can people find you and follow you and come and check you out?
Okay. So you can Mixtape Romance. That's 2 words. Mixtape Romance can be found on any streaming platforms. We have 1 album out and a few singles that are from that album that are available on streaming services. But the easiest way would be to go to Facebook and follow our musician page, Mixtape Romance. I don't have the website all up and running yet, but it's in the works. Mixtaperomance.com is in the works, and then we've got our YouTube page that also people can follow, but we don't have a lot of stuff on there yet. It's all still stuff that's in the works. We're working on music videos and we're working on collaborations with people. So it's still kind of new. I mean, I've only been pursuing this for about a year. I've had the songs for a long time, but I've just now started to really push to make this happen. But we've made some giant steps because I mean, I went from not having, anything out to now I've got a whole album out within a year. I've already done 1 show. I mean, it basically anything that I've put my mind to on this thing has happened. So we just got to keep pushing forward, just keep making goals and, keep doing what we got to do to get to the next level.
Yep. 1 step at a time. That's all you got to do. All right. So I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So what's a message that you have that you want to share with other people?
Just, whatever's going on in your life, if it's something you feel like you can't get out of, I mean, just try to hold on. Just try to hold on and just try to hold on and just find something that you can hold on to. Just you got to find that purpose in your life. For me, it's being a husband, it's being a father, and it's being a musician and sharing my music with people. You got to find what you were put on this earth to do. Everybody's got that talent. Everybody's got something that they're supposed to do. So you just got to find your purpose.